This is the 2nd of February 2024. You're very welcome back to Real True Education, not fake news. This is on Stormont is back, Sinn Fein. And I got a great reaction on all of that, and I'm going to have a wee read at them now. So in the video Stormont is back, I pointed out that Sinn Fein did, in my opinion, issue a cheap remark. Instead of coming out and showing a bit of statesmanship and a bit of political acumen, they come out and started bawling about a united Ireland is within touching distance. What I would have done in their position is I'd say, we're delighted to have the power sharing executive up and running. We're anxious to get going. There's a lot of hard work to be done, and we wish everyone in it well, and we ask the people to wish us well, because there's no doubt all good-minded and right-thinking Irish people and British people too, and other people would wish it well. And there's no doubt they will work in there. That is not the problem with me at all. Now, my point is, it's a cheap remark to go about the border in that way. It just shows the lowest form of politics. Now, we look at some of the comments here about them. And one is from David Stanley: Sinn Fein are not for the Irish. Vote no to them. That's my point. They're for somebody else. They're not for us, not for the Irish. No to Sinn. Now, this is James Quinn. No to Sinn Fein, a bunch of traitors. They stood at graves of the fallen. They caused innumerable deaths in their efforts, among others. And we were told this was for the good of Ireland. It's not. It's for the good of the Sudan and Eritrea and Somalia. Okay? You'd think, this is Tony Watson, you'd think after all these years they'd understand politics and how it works. That's exactly, I thought they'd pick up something. I'm a unionist, but Sinn Fein are their own worst enemy, thankfully. And I agree. And they think that if they get the nationalist majority in Northern Ireland, that they'll get a united Ireland. There may be a lot of Catholics up there and nationalists who will not vote for a united Ireland. And they'd be right. Why would you vote for the mess that they're creating in the whole world, these woke globalists? So now, we go on here now. Usher SM9. The DUP will not contest a border poll. They'll boycott it. I do not know. I can't answer that. That's a good enough prediction. No issue there. Jumbles Tilskin 1365. Good man, Val. I am Irish, but I live in the UK, and it's much the same here. You'd almost swear you were reading off the same script. The enemies of the people. Sorry, there's a wee glitch there. Now the comment section flipped, went to a different video, and this is what YouTube does. I think it's some form of advertising. I don't know. But in any event, we mentioned Tony Watson's comment as a unionist, and he says, thankfully Sinn Fein are digging their own grave. That's kind of what he didn't say that, but they're their own worst enemy. Okay, now Derek Murray, 1462. Used to be a Sinn Fein voter and a member. I caught myself on, and they aren't the answer. Definitely not under McDonald and company. Well, I don't think they can change. Whatever is driving this globalist woke agenda, it grips everybody. It has gripped every party in Ireland except the Irish National Party and the Freedom Party, and perhaps the Farmers Party. And it has gripped the Tory Party and the Labour Party and the Lib Dems and Greens in Britain. It has gripped the US Democratic Party. This is a serious thing, and I am investigating and trying to bring it to your attention. Anyway, we go on. User, DUP will not contest the border poll, they'll boycott it. Right, that's where I was before. You have to understand the thing flipped on me here. Good man, Val. This is Jim Tilskin. I am Irish, but I live in the UK, and it's the same here. You'd always swear that we're singing off the same hymn sheet. Enemies of the people is fair and fine way to put it. This is the point. This is a universal scourge. Now, so the next one is Philip Gier. Perfectly said, sir. So he agrees with me. Now, the next thing is Paul. Such stinging, inflammatory criticism here, but fair play for offering discussion and debate. Well, as it's often said to me that I could be taken up for defamation, Listen, folks, I know the law. I can advocate in the court myself. They wouldn't touch me with a barge pole. In fact, if they go taking me up for defamation, I'll put up a rough and rumble defence in the courts until I get up high, and then I'll hit them with the nailer, and I'll cost them $1 million in court fees. They'll not take me on because I weigh up everything. I know that the 2009 Act and the precedents and all that, they won't take me on. I know the divide between defamation and political comment and good comment. They're dealing with the wrong guy. Oh, wouldn't I love that battle? Wouldn't I love it? You know, when you're a defendant as well, you have a little bit of leeway. You tend to get a bit more. I'd wipe the floor on them. Now, the thing about it is, so that's what Paul says, but he says it's good for debate, and it is good for debate. Don't get me wrong, Paul. I'll say no more. The next fella comments is Mary. Well, I don't like that. Mary, one word, Mary. I mean, could be Mary Magdalene. I don't know. I think it's you shouldn't do those comments, folks. Please make them rational. Now, the next one is Jim Brennan. Sinn Fein hate the Irish. I won't say, well, I know that there's a rump of politicians in Dublin who do hate the Irish, but whether it's Sinn Fein or not, just don't force me to comment on that. Now, the next one is, you haven't a clue, mate. So this fella is RCFC90, says, I don't have a clue. But total idiot, total idiot, total idiot. Well, I have as much in education. I'm a farmer with cows. That's a big thing. Oh my God, I tell you, you have cows, you're a big fella. And I said I can count. So if I don't have a clue, then I am suggesting that if that's the way Sinn Fein looks on people, that the people who are thinking to vote for them don't have a clue either. In other words, in the eyes of Sinn Fein, if you're an ordinary person, an ordinary party member, and go to vote for them, they consider you to be a nomadon. That's what they think of you. So that's why I turned that around. And the next one is Sky Magneta. Domiciles, they already do. They know no boundaries. Sinn Fein motto, people out, sinners in. They reckon now they're the new lords of the republic down here. They think they're farmers of the people down here. So most people are on my side on this. Now, there's one very good one here, a long one. Coughlin Tom, 4139, and I'd like to deal with it. You are on fire tonight. What with your confusion of Sinn Fein politics and understanding of the words of the leader of the largest political party in the state. Very good. Now, I'm talking loud because there's complaints about people not hearing me. I'd ask that to be taken into account. I didn't think I was on fire. I have to talk up and be clear and use good diction. Now, so you're confusing. So they're telling me I'm confused. Oh, I'm confused, I told you. Some of them even go farther and say, oh, you're conflated. Now, confused and conflated are very closely related things. Ordinary people don't use the word conflate, and I'm an ordinary person. But there is a word. But anyway, we'll leave that for the minute. What with your confusion of Sinn Fein politics? The politics is to fill this country full of migrants. Simple as that. That's it. That's the kernel. What's the confusion? And understanding the words of the leader of the political party in the state. Well, the second leader, Michelle O'Neill, here she is at a gig up in Belfast for Muslims. I'm not particularly against religious minorities. And if people are here legally and legitimately, there's no problem with a bit of a Muslim celebration. I'll be doing a video on ACBB. And don't forget, the religion of the Muslims is that we are dogs. Kafirs, they call us. So it's up to the Muslims to come out and say they don't go along with that. It's in the Quran. So we've got to be careful. I'm not really trying to do down people who are Muslims here. You're born into a religion like me, and you have to try and deal with it, and that's it. It's an accident of birth in many ways. But there is such a thing as a radical Islamic person, and we are letting these in from the EU, dictated by the EU, and no vetting at all. Now, so now we go on then to the points here about from Coughlin Tom. I'll read on. So the largest political party in the state. Well, I'd say after the next election, even with all, they will probably be the largest political party. And this is humped up to me all the time. People I meet, we're the largest party, North and South. So, what's the big problem, big thing? I think for a while the Democrats in America were the largest party. The Tories in England are the largest party. You look at the mess they're making. You look at the total and utter mess they're making. Places on fire. Look at Europe, farmers out in protest, Dublin, everywhere. So the fact that you are the largest party doesn't cut much ice with me. I'm talking about your policies. The comments regarding within touching distance is to illustrate how change has developed in 30 odd years. It isn't. It is not. Change has developed because of the Good Friday Agreement and all the efforts, and we all voted for it. And there was a pressure on because of Brexit. It made it difficult. It came as a bolt from the blue. I agree with Brexit. I want Ireland out of the EU, but we have to deal with the real politic as it is. And so, whatever was the hold up, they got it sorted, and am I delighted for everybody, for the people of the North and South and everywhere else. I think that's great. Well, how does it illustrate how change has developed in 30 odd years? I don't think it does. I think they had a difficult job getting the unionists to come back into the Parliament, the Assembly, and there was a time and place for talking about United Ireland. There'll be Sinn Fein or Ardèches and that. And by the way, I demand the next Sinn Fein Ardèche I'm allowed 10 minutes to speak. I want up on that podium and 10 minutes to talk about their migration policies. Some chance of that. So now you can work on that one, Coughlin Tom. I want 10 minutes uninterrupted discussion to tell them where they stand. Not one bit afraid of them. Now, so that's the thing. It was out of place. And they believe they're right with their communism and their globalism and all of this. And a pity they couldn't explain to me how they come to be this way. How did an Irish Nationalist Party come to be globalist, cultural Marxist, LGBTQ, rainbow, the whole damn thing? What do they think about teachers being locked up for calling boys him? That's my point, okay? Comment on that now again, Tom. It's baloney, 30 odd years. Means nothing. 30 odd years means nothing. You might as well say hooly, hooly, pooly, booly. It has no effect. They have progressed from being battered into the ground by battens of the RUC. Well, they were battered above at the H block. I remember way back in 1981, the Garda Síochána walloped them. The blood was running down their faces. But definitely in the Bloody Sunday period, and that period when John Hume and them were just marching for their rights, the British state made a big mistake and the RUC made a big mistake, and what they did on Bloody Sunday was a scandal, and that was wrong, and that provoked the violent campaign. I agree with that 100%. So I don't think it was just Sinn Féin. I think SDLP, I think the nationalist people in the North were discriminated. I remember way back there was 6 votes for some people in Derry and none for others, for the councils and that. So there is a legacy issue there. I thought we were goddamn gone through it, Coughlin. I thought we were done with it. Are we going to live this and become prisoners of it for the rest of our bloody lives and our children and our grandchildren? We know there's legacy issues. I'm trying to prevent it again by stopping uncontrolled migration. Next thing it'll be the Muslims that'll be marching. Now, battered into the ground with battens of the RUC. Tonight, they were a proud Cork Tyrone woman called O'Neill has 2 PSNI officers at her beck and call. Anyone who has protection and deserves protection does not have the RUC officers at their beck and call, nor do southern politicians have them at their beck and call, nor does Biden or Trump in America. You have protection, you organise your schedule with them, they're called a protection detail, they're armed, and their job is to make sure you get through it. There is no doubt a Sinn Féin high-ranking person could be a target for terrorism. There's no doubt about that. I have no problem with that. But that is more just jumper jingoism. Oh, we have our police on our back. Oh, that is bullshit. Right, Beck and call for her protection. Yeah, for her protection. So what's the big deal? What an idiot this Coughlin is. Val, my friend, change has arrived and face up to it. We don't know. We don't know what effect I have had. I'm talking to dyed-in-the-wool, good old rough Sinn Féin voters all my life. And some of them are changing away. And I was in the pub one day after the mart, and this fellow was there and they were talking about politics. I wasn't taking a big role in it. And he says, Sinn Féin will sort it out. And I says to him, Sinn Féin will fill this country with migrants from Timbuktu. And your children will never get a house or anything else. They'll be telling you what to do. And he drank his drink and he walked out. That's what happened. Now, that's me synopsis of this. Let's look at it objectively, and I'll be doing another little video on it. Let's look at it objectively. Sinn Féin is filling this country with migrants, has no problem with it. They're for it, all this wind energy and renewable energy. I was at a meeting in Sligo against the windmills, and there's a fella down there, a TD. Is he Callery? Callery? I forget it, but it's a name like Callery, and he was a Sinn Féin TD for Sligo. Somebody will comment underneath. And when I went to point out how the legality of this with its European law, he told me, I don't need a lecture from you. That's what he said. I have no time for any of this. Don't forget, I'm not singling out Sinn Féin. It would be lovely if they did the thing right and were different from the rest. Any person in Ireland that votes Sinn Féin thinking you're going to get change, you're making a hell of a mistake. Here's a Sinn Féin candidate for the council in Wexford. See her there? Her name is Kayleigh Goodison. And she says she's going to fight for the marginalised. Well, when somebody on her route, when the election takes place, ask her, who are the marginalised? Is it the marginalised of Wexford? Or is it the marginalised of Somalia? Or the Punjab? Where are these marginalised to come to? Don't let her away with it. They're trying this old trick. An old trick. You'll think it's you we're going to fight for. It's not. It's the population of people that don't even know where Ireland is. And before I finish off, folks, I had Stormont. I made this I rubbed out the S and made it Torment. Tormented. That's my point. Sinn Féin need to tell us what the policy on migration is. I know what it is. I posted a video before and I'll try and dig it up again on Twitter. Declan Kearney, a prospective candidate in the forthcoming election from Belfast, says he loves this whole idea of multiculturalism. They have no problem with migrants from all over areas where they have a totally different culture to us. They have already killed people in this country and have beheaded 2 gay people in Sligo. They're silent on that. Ask them that when they come round to the door. What's your policy on the lad that beheaded the people in Sligo? And we know there's a trial coming up on an attack in Dublin recently. That's it. Come on now, Mr. Coughlin. Make your comment underneath. And don't forget, I am available to discuss this in front of any public forum. And let's have it out. I would like fair play, me on my own. I don't need any help. And I don't want any more on the other side. I don't want any more than 680. I think it's only fair that 1 against 680 is enough. I shouldn't have to be in there with 1 and 60,000 because they'll all want to talk and I won't get a word in. So we'll say 680 to 1. Is that fair enough for you, Mr. Coughlin? Good luck. We'll see you back. Thank you very much.